Hello and welcome back to Factorio C-Block. In our last episode, we set up this plastic build, which is using still a biologically sourced method for making plastic. We're using the fiber here, I can't remember the name of it still, and we're using all of the stuff from over here, the nutrient pulp and the whatever this stuff is that I can't remember the name of. It's coming from all the vegetable sources, all the plant sources, and it's working. It's a little short, though, on the acetic acid, and the reason for that is something that I'll show you just in a moment. But after the episode, I connected up the belt of plastic that goes all the way up to the bus, because we're going to use it today to make batteries. I also connected up this one, which is using some of the acetone gas, which is being made by all of these guys here. And I did that in a way so that this would have some priority over it, because these have to place down on top. So that means that if these are here and backed up, plus these have a buffer box, then this won't work at all. Whether that's a good way to do it or not, I don't know. But, and we can definitely support, I think, more than one of these, based on the Hellmod plan that we did. Whenever we did that, the plastic one. Can we support more than one of these? No, we cannot. We can support exactly one of these off of the amount of raw bioplastic we're making. If we had 4 liquefiers going, which we could actually do, we could get 4 liquefiers going and have one of these, and that would use the exact amount there. Maybe that's not a bad idea to do. Maybe we could do that at some point at least. That would be a little bit of an improvement to the plastic supply. But for right now, I don't think we need it, because we're not going to use that much plastic yet. Like I said, we're going to make batteries, but the batteries are really going to be there just for us to use by hand rather than any sort of crafting, although we could lead it to some crafting. So the Hellmod plan, I tweaked a little bit here to add in an additional step, or set of steps, rather, as a sub-production block. And what that does is that tells us how much we need to make the amount of corn we need to feed this, to feed just this process. The fermentation base, that's the term I couldn't remember, the material I couldn't remember. So if I come into here, this tells me that I need, well, 4.445 corn. And in order to do that, we can either do it from wheaten or prime Dedalian. If we do it from wheaten, and I had it here as half, but just imagine if you did it all from one of them, you'd have to double each of these, one of these numbers and zero out the other one. But if we did it half and half, we'd need almost a full bioprocessor for each material. And in order to feed that, we would need 3 basic farms making wheaten, or 3.65 basic farms, so basically 4 of those, feeding prime Dedalian, and then of course a tiny fraction of a seed extractor extracting the seeds out of those plants, and then of course the requisite amount of soil and sand respectively, and water and saline respectively. Or, like I said, we could choose one or the other and double that one's numbers, and we would come out with the same result in the end, because I split them exactly in half just to kind of show what this takes. So for right now, we're not going to do this, because again, we're not using that much plastic. But if we wanted to make this a real build, and in that case, we would probably also scale this up a bit, because remember, we're only making 1.5 plastic bars. That is 1/5 of a gray belt, 1/10 of a yellow belt, etc. That's not a whole lot of plastic. I don't know how much plastic we'll actually need in the future, but it's not a whole lot. So when we find out how much plastic we'll need, which I suspect will come when we want to set up the next circuit, which I suspect will come at least by the time we're ready to start Blue Science, because I believe it's still that ingredient in that recipe, even in Angels. Then, well, we'll have an idea, we'll have a plan, and we'll have a way to set all this up. Someone asked me in the comments, I think it was, for one of the episodes last week, how much of the, or what I was planning on doing with the overall base. Right now, it's still a spaghetti monster base here that isn't really, organized much. And whether I was going to do city blocks, or I was going to continue with the spaghetti monster. And the answer to that is neither. I am going to do a train-based base, but it won't be a city block base. I'm not that thrilled by a city block base. The blocks are either too big or too small for what you want to put in them. They're very rarely the right size. And it's, it's kind of the same kind of thing with Factorio Simo. You've got to wedge things in, or you've got extra space. In the city block case, you've got to wedge things in, or you got to divide something in half and do 2 city blocks for it in order to have enough. And so what I'm planning on doing is just doing a train-based base with, basically some main lines and some cross-connecting between those lines. Maybe a bunch of horizontal tracks and occasionally a vertical track connecting them, so that we can have, a blocky design, but not regular city blocks. And the reason for that, too, is too many intersections in a train network will sort of slow you down. Hopefully not when Space Age comes, but when Space Age comes, I don't know what's going to happen with this base either, because we probably won't have support for this mod once Space Age comes for a while. So I may have to continue playing this in 1.1, for example, even while playing Space Age. But we'll figure that part out when we get there. Jumping ahead a little, 6-7 weeks now, but that's okay. And then beyond that, crossings also are a problem. 4-way crossings are a problem with trains. It takes too many signals, or you block too many paths when you're crossing, or a combination thereof. And so I'm not that impressed with city blocks for those 2 reasons. And so I think, and just the fact that it's, very, very repetitive. And so I think what I will do is something that's organized and has, like I said, straight train lines and has outposty type of things, but it would be an outpost-based train base, even though they're going to be relatively tightly packed together, rather than a specific city block design. So all that said, we have a belt of plastic that's backed up to here. That's been snaked up into the bus area. Before we go up there, because we're going to build some batteries up there, I want to also take this sulfuric acid with me, and I need to find a good spot to put it. Maybe we go somewhere in this, somewhere in this neighborhood. Yeah, I think that'll work out fine. We'll go there, here, and then, of course, here. Not you, though. And then you can go, that's fine. We'll do this now. And then that and this one. And we'll see how well that does for me as we go up, up, up. Ooh, nice. Oh, nice. That one, not so much nice. We'll go here, though. Ooh, nice. Just missed the radar there without trying too hard. That was good. That one's not good. Nope, 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 nope. Here. That one. Ooh. Actually, yeah, that was good. And then we'll go here, and then this is where we're going to build some batteries. Now, I did not do a plan yet here in Helmod, so let's quickly do a Helmod plan. Batteries, they're not there. They are in here. And there are 3 different types of batteries here in the, I guess they're all Angels, Bobs. Angel Bobs. The first one is very similar to the vanilla battery, except that it's a lead acid battery as opposed to being an iron and copper acid battery. So we need to bring in lead, which won't be a problem. We need to bring in plastic, which won't be a problem now. And we need to bring in sulfuric acid, which is also not a problem. Huh, look at that. What I want to do is 1 divided by 2.29 times 4. 4 chemical plants. I think that's plenty for right now, and then I need to just figure out what that actually should be, which is 1.75 to get exactly 4 chemical plants. 3.5 lead plate, that's quite a bit. 1.75 plastic bars. We may not be making that much. 35 sulfuric acid, well, I don't know if we're making that much or not. We have no idea how much we're actually making. But again, this is not going to be a... let me clear that just because. This is not going to be a permanent... supply of these things. We're going to have to do something else in the long term in order to get everything to be correct. Are you lined up right? Oh, you are. Okay, good. In that case, let's just go like up here someplace. Let's take a look at these recipes. Batteries. They're here. Acid in, lead and plastic in, batteries out. We could just do a simple, basic kind of system here. Actually, that would work out just fine. We can do pipes like this. I need to get some pipes. Good thing the mall is right here. Undergrounds. I don't need any regular pipes, though, I don't think. I just spent most of my undergrounds. That's why I don't have any. There and there, and I think that's a good repeatable block. We'll do power poles on either side of this monstrosity. Get the wally out of the way. And then we can just do the basic arm in, arm out, arm out. The only question that I will have is 3 items every 4 seconds times 1.75. So that's like 5.5 items every 4 seconds. That's plenty fast enough to be 1 arm in. So we're good there. Let's duplicate this there. And that'll be enough for me for now. We can bring the asset up and in to there. Pipe, please. I can take this pipe out so that we don't have an orphan. And then we can connect this up to the base power. Like that. And then we just need to bring in the lead and the plastic. I have the plastic here. I did not bring the lead up. I should have thought about that. Get the lead out, Wally. Is that the lead? Yeah, that's lead. Yep, that's lead. Ah, okay. You and you'll need to be a yellow. Oh, and I did, by the way, make 1 red underground, or use 1 red underground in order to jump this machine. Instead of trying to thread that plastic belt through some other way, especially with this mess right in here, I figured that was a better option there. I'll just have to be careful with it when it's time to, you know, do the thing. Take those down or change those in some way. You and you. Not too much. Not too much. Okay. And then, let's see. You are... Lead is belt number 1. Plastic is belt number 1. This can come over this way somewhere. We'll need to have one of these right there. Because of course it is. Yep, it is. There and there. Lead will split like this. Plastic can come in on that side. This will go here. Let's see. We need another one of these. Sort of. Let's do it this way. You'll go like this. Plastic will come up and split and go in there. And that should do it. We'll take this out to a box here. And for right now, we'll just do a couple of stacks. Now, what to use this for? Well, right now, the only thing that I really have that I want to use it for is electric energy accumulators. But that also means that now we could potentially take a look at the solar power too. But I'm not going to do that just yet. I'm going to check these off the list, I think. But I think my plan for electric energy accumulators is really to be more like a power switch. So that this power right here is used last, just before, obviously, these are getting used all the time, no matter what. But that this power here is used last, and we use things like this one sooner, maybe, or maybe not. I mean, it depends. We're only making the fuel here, so maybe we don't need to make this one be faster. But the idea would be to prioritize between this one, and maybe we'll also need some from here, too. It may be that we need to do something with this wood. If we start to fall behind in our tree seeds here, like we kind of are with this one, that, you know, maybe we end up having too many trees backed up on this belt because they're already backed up to here. And we need to process them. Well, we need to find a way to process them if we're going to do it. And the way to process them would be to do something with this wood. The only thing we're doing with the wood really right now, besides this tiny bit here, is basic circuits. So it doesn't really, because that's where it actually stops. So there's not really a whole lot of wood being used, and it might be worth it, or it might be necessary to split this off, say before this buffer, into either a steam burner setup like this, where we burn it off, as power, in which case we won't want to use these until we have not enough power provided by that. And then, this one here notwithstanding potentially. And actually, I probably will shut this one down, put this in the lowest priority, just because we want to use this nutrient pulp as much as we can for making this stuff. So that one we might just not bother letting run at all. It was just there, again, as a proof of concept for right now. And so then we might not need solar power anytime soon. So it might just be an accumulator question, an accumulator issue. And that, let me know if you're interested, but that's kind of a setup that, most people do in vanilla. Some sort of a power prioritization system. Since Factorio doesn't have one inbuilt, you have to do it yourself. And that's really the way most people do it, is either shutting off the water source or shutting off the arms into the boilers, or you could even have a power switch disconnecting the power from it, although that's a little bit trickier to do, especially if you got things connecting in all along. But you can shut off the pump, you can shut off a pipe, you can't shut off a pipe, you can shut off a pump. You can shut off the arms if you want to do that. You could shut off the belt if you wanted to do that. There's a lot of different ways to get around how to control power, but that's kind of a vanilla thing. So I think I will probably do it off camera between now and the next episode, and then I'll just show you what I did. If you want to see more detail, let me know in the comments, and I can show you. I can show more detail either in that episode or otherwise later, depending on the timing and everything. But I think that's enough for now, just kind of showing a battery build. It's very vanilla-ish battery build, but it's a battery build, and we're almost there already. We've used a bit of plastic, but not a whole lot. We've used a bit of lead, but not a whole lot. And this will just kind of back up and fizzle out, and we'll just use those, I think, like I said, as kind of a one-off thing, just to make whatever accumulator that I think I want, which is probably going to be either the high capacity, probably just be the high capacity one. I'm not sure that I really care at this point which one I do, because it's only going to be used for that power switch. And then, later down the road, maybe we'll take a look at solar and accumulators. But for right now, I don't really see the necessity of them, because we do have a reasonable amount of power. And we can make the decision as to whether the wind turbines or the solar panels are more efficient for the space and the materials taken. We can definitely look at that calculation. But right now, I don't think I'm going to do any of that. So we're going to focus on doing something else after, which I think we'll be taking a look at the other component in Angel's bioprocessing besides plants: fish. So thank you all for joining me, and I will see you next time. Bye for now.